In 5 years, you'll either say, I'm so glad I started, or I wish I had. So let's start today with 1 week that changes everything. Give me 7 days and I'll change your life. And I'm not talking about anything get rich quick, but what you do in the next 7 days from watching this video could set you up for financial abundance over the next decade and beyond. What can you do this week? Yes, right now, to make you rich in 5 years' time. Most people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in 5 years. So in 5 years' time, you could have replaced your salary, you could have had more choices in life and a life of abundance and wealth. Living the life you want to live with who you want to live it with, making the contributions you want to make, not living confined by social norms and money restrictions. Sounds nice, right? Well, I can confidently say that in 5 years, it's an accurate and reasonable time frame to make substantial change. Well, this is exactly the timescale it took me to go from $33,000 in debt to a net worth millionaire. That's not owning $1 million in property, a net wealth millionaire. And I'm not saying that to impress you, but to impress upon you that you can do the same. And no, as I said, I didn't start with a huge wallet. I didn't start with family money or a background in property. I started from scratch, and this is what I did. Step 1, define rich. I don't actually like the term rich, if I'm honest. It makes me think of the Instagram influencer in their rented Lamborghini. But I do think we need to define it. Rich, wealth, abundance, whatever word that you want in your terms. So interestingly, the other day I'm with my girlfriend and we're talking about what we mean by rich and wealthy, and we had 2 different definitions. And I think it's really important for you to come up with your own definition. And the way that we did this is we asked ourselves 3 questions. And I want you to write these down and write down your own answer. I'll show you mine in a second. What does life look like for you by X date? So for me, what I've done in my example is by 2030, but maybe you set up 5 years from now. What does it mean to you? So what does life look like to you? What does it look like for you? What's going on? Expand around it. Number 2, how much income do you need monthly to live it? I think it's really stupid to become predefined by the amount of money you want to earn. And if you leave it, I guarantee most of you will say 5K a month, or of course, 10K a month. Why isn't it 13,326 and 47 pence? That is more believable. Why isn't it 1,620 pounds? Define the life that you actually want and match the income to do it. You are not working for money, you are working to facilitate the lifestyle. Which brings me to the 3rd question, and possibly the most important. What is your why? And I think that's such a fluffy question, but it's really powerful, because do you know what? Being an entrepreneur can be really difficult. You need to understand why you're doing what you're doing. So here's the example of one that I did for myself earlier with what I want life to look like in 2030, answering these 3 questions. Now, when this is more clear, wealth creation can start become mathematical, not emotional. And you might not be a numbers guy or girl, but you need to get used to it. Step 2, build your financial baseline. The 2nd step is all about carving out time to think on what your baseline is. So I want you to write this down: your total monthly income, your total monthly expenses, and your monthly savings rate. Sounds simple, but a 2024 survey found that over 1/3 of Brits didn't know what was their current bank account balances, and 1 in 5 have no savings. So I'm just going to say that again. Over 1/3 of adults in the UK couldn't guess what their bank account looks like right now. I find that absolutely baffling. And 1 in 5, and this is quite sad, has no savings at all. Right? And now I'm not saying everyone should, but imagine your average 45, 50-year-old that doesn't have that. And if you're one of them, you're in the right place. I think a lot of videos on this channel are really going to help you get out of that situation. So getting a clear understanding of your financial conversation, even if you do have a moment, that means you can change, okay? And change needs to happen sooner rather than later. And your goal to become rich in 5 years is to move from consumption to capital allocation. Step 3, we're going to map out your asset strategy. So here we go. You have defined what rich means to you, and it only matters if it means it for you. You've got real with yourself, and you know exactly what your financial month currently looks like, and you're either really excited or you've just gone through a state of depression. Either is absolutely fine. You need to understand the numbers before we can do something about it. And that's what this step is about, developing your asset strategy. An asset is basically something that is valuable and useful, not like a liability. So a house, for example, can be an asset or a liability. The house that you live in is, yes, technically an asset, but not in investment terms. It is a liability. It's costing you every single month. Whereas owning a boring vanilla buy-to-let portfolio is absolutely an asset that pays you again and again and again. So when you are mapping out your asset strategy, you're mapping out what you own, what it produces on a monthly basis, i.e. it builds your wealth over the next 5 years. So obviously for me, I've doubled down on property, a tangible asset. It gets leveraged. I can use the bank's money. This baffles me. The bank will give me 75% of the purchase price and it pays me every single month. Like there's no other investment out there where the bank will go, yeah, I'll give you you want to buy £1 million portfolio? I'll give you 750 grand. Imagine going into Barclays and go, can I have £1 million please? Because I would like to buy Barclays shares. Be like, no, you absolutely can't do that. Why not? That should tell you everything. So this week, I want you to write down these questions. I want you to think about your answers and I want you to write them down. How can you increase your monthly income legally? How can you improve your borrowing capacity and your credit score? How can you reinvest? How can you utilize your money to multiply it? Remember, wealth is all about make, manage, and multiply. Your asset strategy for the next 5 years will look slightly different depending on your current situation. And you want to start breaking it into 5 big moves, one for each year. By the way, if you've watched this far, and you realize you've got money to invest and you're ready to scale your portfolio, put portfolio in the comments if you want some help doing it. One of my businesses, what we do is help people just like you scale boring vanilla buy-to-let portfolios so that you can get your money working hard for you. Put portfolio in, I'll send you a link and you could book in a chat. Now, even if you're not 100% at the stage where you're ready to invest, a buy-to-let, for example, start to put down the feelers. Now, one of the reasons people stop themselves from investing is they don't have the time to do it themselves. And it's important that when you're creating your asset strategy to not solely focus on actions that you as an individual have to take. Look at all of your options. And you might find that going down the outsourcing route works better for you. If you think about building a portfolio, which is amazing, obviously I've done that over the last 10 years. We've got 20 million plus in our own portfolio, but I realized that it's really quite difficult, and I actually started my business, Aspire Portfolio, for that very reason. Ultimately, I wanted to build a team around me to scale portfolios for myself, and still to date, myself and my business partner are the largest client of our company, building our portfolio every single year. But we also started to do it for people like you. And the reason we did that is it can get scary on your own. When you need to find your own solicitor, your own mortgage broker, your own refurb team, your own lettings team, you need your insurance, and of course you need to find the time to know what a good deal is, find a good deal, go and view it, go and price it up and get in your offers and all the way through to completion. To create that wealth over time, what we did for people is start to take on all of that burden so that you can build a portfolio with all of the upsides, but not the downside. Now, this video isn't pitching that business, but if you want to have a chat about building that portfolio, like I said, you could put portfolio in the comments. I'll put a link in and pin it to the top. And while spaces are available, because it does take mine and my team's time out, you can book in an absolutely free one-to-one strategy session this week. Remember, the actions you take in these 7 days will change your life, and we're going to give you a roadmap to success. All right. And if you want to go and implement that on your own, amazing. But if you want some support in somebody doing the first 5 buy-to-lets, maybe your first 1 or 2, then I can really help you. Portfolio in the comments. I'll send you a link. And if there are spaces available, great. Book it in. I'd love to have a chat. Which brings us to step number 4. Protect and optimize. Sounds like Transformers there a little bit, doesn't it? Protect and optimize. Now, when you have your asset strategy in place, it's time to move to step 4. And yes, still this week. Still this week, next 7 days, because getting rich in 5 years isn't just about making money, it's also about you protecting it as you go. And to do this, what you want to think about is tax structuring. You want to be thinking about things like buying properties in a limited company, an LLP, or a personal name. You need to be thinking about insurances that you need in place and financial buffers. For those of you that join us on the portfolio journey, we'll talk you through this and link you up with a shit-hot accountant that can support you with this. But even if you don't, you need to reach out to experts. And it's really important that you understand that just because there's a knowledge gap between you and success doesn't mean that you need to fill the knowledge gap with you. You can fill a knowledge gap with somebody else. For example, being open with you, I am the expert at linking up the right people. I am not a lawyer. I am not the accountant. I am not the mortgage broker. I am definitely not the project manager. And I'm definitely not the lettings manager. Now, whilst I have some knowledge of what they do, I don't do any of them. I've just managed to get myself in the last decade surrounding myself with the best in the UK at what they do to help me leverage them and then leverage the bank's money to help me build a portfolio that pays for myself, my family, and my family for legacy and years to come. So you can get in touch with a financial advisor and do that. Now, it's really important that you get financial advice because they are qualified for it and can legally give you direction. Please do not just go on Google and search financial advisor. Okay, that's a pretty bad way of finding people. If you want to build an asset in the property world, think about a property-specific advisor that is used to dealing in this investment space. Then, on your calendar, and I want you to do this right now, I want you to book in a monthly finance slot on your calendar. And I do this every single month, and I have done this for the last 10 years. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's a little bit more exciting doing the monthly net wealth update now. 10 years ago, it was pretty demoralizing, if I'm honest with you. But at least I knew where I was at, because I knew where I was at, I knew where I wanted to get to, and so I knew the journey. This is dedicated time to go back over these steps and maintain a key eye on your finance situation. By the way, I want to commend you. If you've made it this far in the video, I'm going to call it out. This is not one of those sexy glam videos that's really exciting to be watching. It's the stuff that matters. It's the stuff that actually makes a difference. And you'll find some other of my videos that have popped. They're the more quick, fast patch. But this is actually what builds real wealth. So well done for doing that. Getting rich isn't luck, it's consistency. And consistent action is what you need. Here's what I need you to do. Don't watch a video like this only to click on the next video, only to watch the next video, and then again and again. Actually pause. Did you write down the actions? And if you haven't, go back and write them down and revisit these on a monthly basis. It's not the fun stuff. It's not the exciting stuff, except it is. Because it's this stuff that's going to make you wealthy. It's this stuff that's going to make you financially free. You becoming a millionaire is a choice. It is an absolute choice. I don't care what financial situation you're in right now. The future does not depend on your present or past whatsoever. Take consistent actions, and if you take the actions in this video, you will have a very different life in 5 to 10 years. And if you're watching this and you've got the money to invest, typically we need 55K minimum to start building your portfolio. Obviously, that's not to me, that's to build your portfolio. Then book in a call. Put portfolio in the chat. I'd love to have a chat with you. It'll be me or one of my team to help you start thinking about how you implement this to build your financial future. So let's recap. Define what rich looks like so you have a goal and a flag in the ground to move towards consistently. Number 2, build your financial baseline to get a good understanding of your current finances. Number 3, map out your asset strategy. And this isn't saying you can invest in a buy-to-let right away, because some of you won't be able to, but it's mapping out how to get there and starting to chat and build that sort of power team around you. And finally, start to connect with people that help protect your strategy, as you don't want to lose the money. And I'm talking about getting a great tax accountant to give you guidance. And if you take the necessary actions on this, in 5 years' time, you're going to be saying, I'm so glad I started back then, rather than going, I really wish I'd started. And only you can make that choice. And remember, if property is your asset choice, I'd love to help you. But it might not be property. I'm assuming you watching this channel, it probably is. But right now, it's all about starting and taking the necessary actions that the future version of yourself will thank you for. I hope you found this valuable. If you have and you want to learn more ways of how to make money in property and how you can implement this further, make sure to hit the subscribe and the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.